Yo guys, so for today's video, right, I'll be covering on this upcoming new launch, Skye at Holland. So for this particular plot, is in the CCR area at District 10. I think this is going to be quite interesting because if you've been following some of the OCR land bids, they are actually being bidded higher than this current Skye at Holland plot. And in today's video, right, I'll be also covering whether you have an opportunity to get a pricing similar to 2019 and also whether Skye at Holland is worth looking at. So stay tuned. For the overview of this video, I'll be covering on the project's key details, its investment potential, and also comparison with the nearby resale projects. Alright, so for those of you that's not that familiar with the Holland Village area, over here you can see this is the map itself, and for Skye at Holland, we're right beside One Holland Village Residences and also the shopping mall. So in terms of amenities, definitely gonna be quite convenient. You still gotta walk a little bit towards the MRT, but it's same distance to One Holland Village Residences. And you need to take note, we are gonna be surrounded by, one side is the HDBs, One Holland Village side, and then the other side will be the landed side. So that one will be very likely the premium views. Yeah, so this is in general for the area itself. Over here, I also have some of the artist impression already done up by UOL. So first up, you can see this is the Arrival Plaza. Definitely gonna be quite grand because this is in Holland Village area and CCR. Yeah, and then on top of that, you can see this is the good class bungalow views that you should expect. The views from the 5-bedroom suite. And also they will have a 50-meter lap pool. So these are some of the amenities and views you should expect for Skye at Holland. Okay, so right now I'm going to be talking about Skye at Holland's key project details. And over here you can see this is a joint development by CapitaLand, UOL and Keng Leong. So definitely this is going to be a very reputable developers and the finishings should be very solid. Okay, so this will be having two blocks. You can see block 2 and block 6. District 10, and this will be up to 40 stories with 2 basement, 2-story car park, and then swimming pool, sky terrace, and communal facilities. So definitely it's gonna be one of the bigger plots in the Holland Village area already, because if you can see this one number of units is 666. Later on, I will also show the surrounding area based on the condos, right? There's nothing of this size. So definitely for Holland Village area, this might be something some of the owners and the landed area might be already looking at if they haven't entered One Holland Village Residences. Because at that time when One Holland Village launched, right, the shopping mall not done but I think because of the success from the shopping mall, it has become like a very desirable place to stay. So as of right now, I feel like this will be a very hot project even for the people already staying in the area. Okay, so expected TOP Q1 2029. And then you can see the site area. So the site area, right, when I actually compare this with the One Holland Village Residence one, site area actually quite small because this one is on 133,000 square feet of land. This kind of works out to be about 200 square feet per unit if you count the density. Okay, land cost is 1285 PSF PPR. Yeah, so just to touch a little bit more on the density, right? So you can see for One Holland Village Residences, right, the land size is 291,000 square feet. But the main difference here is that because they counted this together with the shopping mall, so it's not really that accurate. And on top of that, right, for One Holland Village Residences, they have a service apartment component. So that's why I try to calculate the density for One Holland Village. You can't really use it because the total number of units they have is only 296 residential units. You haven't count the retail component, you haven't count the service apartment component. Okay, so just to let you know, it's not really an apple-to-apple comparison. Yeah, and on top of that, you can see based on the people that bought into One Holland Village Residences, right, 78% comes from Singaporean, 11% comes from foreigner, and then 10% comes from PR. Assuming this ABSD for foreigners is still a very strong deterrent, right? Then maybe you can expect a higher proportion of Singaporeans or even PR. Yeah, so this is what I expect the demographics going into Skye at Holland. Okay, so right now we want to take a closer look at One Holland Village Residences, and why we want to do that is because this will be a potential strong competitor in the resale market if you enter Skye at Holland, maybe 2029 or onwards. Okay, so over here you can see, just now I mentioned there was this service apartment component. So this one's at 255 units. So for the Quincy block, right, you can see for service residences, they're going to be from the first story all the way to level 19. Whereas for the more premium blocks, right, they're gonna be starting from the 21st story at this block all the way to 28th story. So this is where the units will come in lah. Okay, this is under the Quincy Private Residences. Whereas they have the Leven and the Serene block. So this one will be up to level 32. And then the facilities will be at level 33 and 34. So of course, for One Holland Village, it's a mixed development. They have the office component, they have the retail component, they have the community facilities. So do bear in mind that this should be on a premium lah as compared to Skye At Holland. Although Skye At Holland can also enjoy the same facilities, but you just have to take note that you are not the mixed development here. So of course, if you can benefit maybe in terms of lower maintenance fees, all this, definitely it will help because every little thing will add up. Okay, so now let's go into the unit specifications for One Holland Village Residences. You can see for the Serene block, right, they have up to 34 stories. So for this stack, right, they have 248 units. Okay, and then the ranges for the size go from 484 square feet all the way to 1098 square feet. So this is the 1 to 3 bedroom sizes. Floor to ceiling height 2.9 meters. So definitely this is quite high already. And localized floor to ceiling height at 2.4 meters. Okay, so now moving on to the more premium bedroom types, right? You can see for Quincy Private Residences, number of stories, we only have 8 floors, level 21 to 28. So this one only got 27 units. And you can see this is a totally different target audience. 1238 square feet all the way to 3358 square feet. So this is the 3 bedroom all the way to the 4 bedroom duplex. Yeah, and the 3455 square feet is the penthouse. Yeah. So you can see if you just compare the bigger 3 bedrooms and the bigger 4 bedrooms, right, you need to use this when you compare towards the Skye At Holland side because this one, do bear in mind they are going to be starting off at a higher floor. Of course, the smaller 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom, you can still use the Serene blocks as the main comparison. But for the bigger ones, right, your main competitors will be on the higher floors already. So that's why if let's say you enter Skye At Holland at a, let's say 4-bedder lah, the price gap will be very big when compared to the One Holland Village Residences side because their level is quite big, 1,002 onwards to 3,003. And on top of that, they are all on the higher floors. So imagine if you manage to get Skye At Holland, a low floor 4-bedder, right? I think you'll be priced quite well in terms of the buffer and exit strategy. Okay, and then the 11, which is the number of stories, 3 stories plus the roof terrace. So here you have 21 units, and then these are the 2 bedrooms, 807 square feet to 1087 square feet. So floor to ceiling height, this one is quite high also, is 3.35 meters. Okay, localized floor to ceiling height at 2.8 meters. So this makes up the total number of units at 296. And then number of blocks, we have 3 blocks. And then the gross floor area is 268,000 square feet. This is based on the unit sizes. It's not really on the land plot. Okay, so facilities wise, like just now I mentioned, they have the 50-meter lap pool, rooftop tennis court, lawn, dining function room, and BBQ pavilions. So for the other component, the service apartment, the offices, the retail, all this, I won't go into it too much because it's already all there. And if you're already familiar with the Holland Village area, you can go over there and take a look yourself. There's like cold storage, then a lot of food basically. So the amenities there is already all very, very solid. Yeah, I think the main thing here is just really, are you getting a good deal at Skye At Holland versus like One Holland Village Residences? Okay, so right now, right, we just want to go all the way back in time to 2019, and then we can see for One Holland Village Residences at the launch day, they managed to sell 92 units out of 296 units. So for this percentage of sales, about 30+% back then, this is already considered quite strong because this was during the COVID period and there was a lot of uncertainty and fear from a lot of buyers. Unlike today, 2025, you can see for the buyers' appetite is very, very different, and then projects are selling at 90+%. So other than that, if you look closely on another article in 2023, Far East organization actually put out a press release. So they did mention that their residential and retail components for the residential and the retail units already achieved 80+% sales, 237 units out of the 296 units sold. And they expect these units to be cleared off by the time they TOP. So now, of course, we can already see it's fully sold out. And you can already, later on I will also show you there's a recent transactions for one of the units. Yeah, but other than that, you can see most of the demand, right, actually comes very strongly from Singaporeans. So this is definitely a very good sign into the area, showing what is the demand and where is the demand component from. Okay, so right now let's take a look at the unit mix for Skye at Holland. So first up, we have the 2 bedders, estimate area 581 square feet, so 74 units. 2 bedroom premium 667 and 678 square feet, 148 units. 2 plus study 732 square feet, 743 square feet, 148 units. 3 bedders 915 square feet, 74 units. 3 bedroom premium 1076 square feet, 74 units. 4 bedroom with private lift 1238 square feet, 74 units. A 4 bedroom premium with private lift 1464 square feet, 37 units. 5 bedroom premium with private lift 1765 square feet and 37 units. So total number of units 666 units, and the 3 show flat units are the 2 plus study, 3 bedroom premium and 5 bedroom premium. So overall, I think the unit mix is going to be quite decent for Skye at Holland. And then if you compare to One Holland Village Residences, you can see for the 1 bedders we have 62 units, 2 bedders we have 145 units, 3 bedders we have 76 units, 3 plus study 3 units, 4 bedders 7 units, 4 plus study 2 units. So total is 296 units. And you can see over here for One Holland Village Residences, their unit types, right, is very skewed towards the 1, 2 and 3 bedders. Yeah, if you take out the 3 bedder component, right, actually majority of them comes from 1 and 2 bedders. Yeah, so if you compare side by side, Skye at Holland versus One Holland Village Residences, definitely Skye at Holland, the unit mix is a lot better. And on top of that, you can see, right, for the 4 bedders, actually the supply here is very low, because other than Skye at Holland, right, the next biggest development here is actually One Holland Village Residences already. So for those looking for the bigger floor plate or even the duplexes in this area, very limited, and even for those with private lift, even lesser. And if you compare to the other projects nearby, which is the resales, they are all on the smaller side. They are like boutique developments, and some of them, I think most of them are in the less than 100 unit range. So of course, some of them could be freehold. That one is a different ball game. Yeah, but in terms of the unit mix and the supply for certain bedroom types, you can see that the 3 bedders, 4 bedders and 5 bedders, right, the supply here is very low. Okay, so now let's look at the site area, right, for Skye at Holland versus One Holland Village Residences. To be honest, it's 2 very different products, so it's kind of hard to compare side by side. But my guess for Skye at Holland, they're gonna do the facilities on the top corner, because that one is a smaller, like, rectangle shape. Then they're gonna be doing the units, right, staggered for the 2 blocks. One will be facing towards the lender side. Actually, both will be facing lender side and the HDB side. So do look out for the premium, right, for the lender side versus the HDB facing. Yeah, and I think later on I will cover the facings for the site plan itself. But just take note, this is the overall how I see the site area play out. Okay, and then here for One Holland Village Residences, definitely quite standard. This is not a mega development. So you have the 3 components, and then with the facilities, swimming pool, and then this is the drive-through area. So other than this, there's not much to emphasize for the One Holland Village Residences site. Okay, so right now I'm gonna put the site plan for Skye at Holland onto this Holland Village area. Then you can kind of see, right, potentially which part of the blocks when the floor plan actually, and when the site plan actually come out, then you know how high the area is. So for the bottom area, right, you can see they have the Buona Vista Courts and also the Holland Vista HDBs. So for these 2 HDB, right, they are definitely on the higher floor side. But if you are facing towards the multi-story car park at Block 18 Buona Vista Courts, I think that one's still okay, because that one is about 5 stories, 6 stories. So the moment you clear that one, I think your view should be quite decent still. Okay. Other than that, if you are facing towards the lender side, which is the roadside area, it's going to be low floor, because the other side is the GCB, the landed side. So the view is going to be a lot of unblocked one. So the premium will be there. Okay. And of course, you got the other side, which is the One Holland Village Residences side. So this one will be quite high, I think 30 plus floor. Yeah. Then other than that, you can also depending on your stacks, you can also see the One Holland Village, the old one, So that one won't be that high as compared to the new shopping mall side. Yeah, so these are the areas that you need to take note of and what kind of price premium to pay for lah. So over here is a screenshot from Google Maps itself. You can see this one is towards the Buona Vista Courts. So here you got block 21 and then block 20 on the left. And then on the right side, right, this is the multi-story car park. So if you can see, it's about level 4, level 5 range. And then opposite will be Skye at Holland. So definitely this will be one of the more crucial landmarks you need to take note of in terms of clearing which floor lah. Okay, so over here we have the One Holland Village floor plans. You can see the 2-bed 1-bath is 689 square feet. So this one already include the AC ledge. Yeah, and average is about 1.86 million. 2-bedroom premium 797 square feet. Average transacted is about 2.139 million. And then last but not least, we have the 2-bedroom premium with the personal enclosed space. So this one is at 947 square feet. Average pricing is about 2.679 million. So these are already all the transacted prices for your nearby competitors. And these are the transacted prices back then, the launch all the way to TOP. So they never really include any of the recent transactions. Whereas over here, we have the Skye at Holland 2 Premium Plus Study. So if you just compare, right, this is already very, very efficient because this is 732 square feet. Of course, this doesn't include the AC ledge, it's harmonized, but you can see we have a enclosed kitchen, dining room with a dumbbell layout. I think all this is quite standard, but they still managed to squeeze in a study in front of the master bedroom. So this one, I mean, if you compare in terms of efficiency of the layout, definitely cannot win lah. Yeah, the newer ones with harmonization definitely is a lot more efficient. And on top of that, right, this one still can have the enclosed kitchen. So for the enclosed kitchen, only just now the 900 plus 2-bedder then will have enclosed kitchen. But for Skye at Holland, there are 2-bedders already have enclosed kitchen. But of course, we still don't know how the layouts will look like for the smaller 2-bedders. So this one, depending on your budget type and which bedroom types you're going for, I will also prepare all these comparisons side by side, right, in order to prepare yourself for the Skye at Holland during the booking day itself. Okay, so next up, we're going to be talking about the 3-bedders. So this is the One Holland Village 3-bedroom premium floor plans. So you can see 1098 square feet, average about 2.95 million. 3-bedroom premium 1281 square feet, average about 3.98 million. So these are already the transacted prices. Okay, so right now I'm going to be comparing the 3-bedroom types. So for One Holland Village, the 3-bedroom premium, this is at 1098 square feet and at 2.95 million average transacted. And then for the 3-bedroom premium 1281 square feet, average transacted is about 3.98 million. Okay, so now if you just look closely when compared to the Skye at Holland 3-bedroom premium at 1076 square feet, right, you can see the main difference here, because this one is harmonized, yeah, so very, very efficient layout. And on top of that, for the One Holland Village one, a lot of the size actually went towards the balcony area. To be honest, some people might like a bigger balcony space, but some people feel like, wow, I'm paying like what, $2,000 plus $3,000 per square feet in the balcony area. Wow, actually really quite pain. You know, so I mean, it really depends on individuals. Some people really like this like open view. Depends on your view also. If your view is towards the landed side, then I think it's worth it to pay for a bigger balcony. But if your view is maybe towards the low floor swimming pool or towards the roadside one, right, then maybe you don't have to consider such a bigger balcony lah. Yeah, so for that case, I think Skye at Holland will probably solve this inefficiency problem in the layouts, and also because having smaller layout in the internal space, right, it will make the quantum similar, if not even more palatable than for this one. Okay, last but not least, for the One Holland Village floor plans, I'm going to be comparing this 4-bedroom premium at 2088 square feet. So this is at 6.75 million. As you can see here, the balcony space is very, very big, and the sharing will be with the junior suite together with the living room area. Whereas if I compare towards the Skye at Holland's 5-bedroom premium, so this is 5 bedrooms at 1765 square feet. So of course, in terms of total size, this one is still smaller than the 4 bedrooms at One Holland Village Residences. But overall, I think in terms of the efficiency of the layout, it's going to be a lot better. And if you can see the balcony space for this one, right, it's not as big as the other 4-bedroom layouts. So of course, you still got the private lift component. Yeah, so all these things, I think it does add up. Of course, main thing is you need to see what is the quantum and the entry price, because judging by upper house strategy, right, later on I will share deeper. I don't think the 5 bedroom premium is going to be lower in terms of PSF as compared to the smaller bedroom types. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about One Holland Village recent transactions. I think this project TOP about 1 year plus already. So here we have a recent transaction, 3 bedroom, 1238 square feet. So the buyer bought it at 23rd January 2023. Purchase price was on the higher side, 3003 PSF. Quantum is at 4.19 million. So the sale date was this year February at 3781 PSF. So definitely, I think this one is very high and unexpected for this area. Okay, sale price of 4.68 million. So in terms of quantum profit, I think definitely quite solid, because you see 489,000 and the holding period is only 2 years plus. Yeah, so this owner still have to pay the seller stamp duty of 4%. Yeah, and the annualized gain actually is about 5% plus. So if you ask me, based on quantum, the profit amount does look decent. But when you factor in how much capital the person had to pay for this 4 million unit, and also during that same time, what if they bought something else? Could they have yielded higher returns or even same returns using lesser capital? Yeah, so I think definitely for 3003 PSF at 4 million, they could have gotten a lender during that time, you know. But in today's market, 4.6 million, at least he make money. But if you think about it, the number of lender you can buy with this amount in 2025 versus 2023, right, I think the difference was very big. Okay, and on top of that, if you have been through the era of the COVID era, right, a lot of the projects you buy in 2022, 2023, most of them I think will have a profit higher than this amount, or even if at the same amount, right, probably their outlay was a lot lesser. Yeah, I think so. You need to take note, especially for this area. Yes, although it hit a very good benchmark at $3,700 per square feet, but you need to take note, right, here there's only been one transaction, I think, for the past 12 months. Yeah, so these are the things that you have to know. Like, so this quantum, of course, you can pay for a lot of different options. You can see, so here you can buy One Holland Village at 4.6 million. But if let's say you look at the recent launches, or even some of the upcoming ones that are already going to TOP, right, like for example Tembusu Grand, you can get a Tembusu Grand 5 bedroom in the heart of Katong at 4 million plus, and it's a brand new project. Does this PSF make sense here? Yeah, so all these things you have to compare, and of course I think it's really a lifestyle over here. Okay, so next up we have the demand and supply, right, for this area itself. So the radius is within 500 meters of Holland Village MRT, and then you can see I'm looking at the past 1 year transactions and 3 bedroom types. Okay, so here we have a total of 9 projects. These 9 projects, we have 4 projects with 6 past transactions, and you can see for the 6 past transactions, the sizes range from 1,100 square feet all the way to 2,200 square feet, and the price range is from 2.36 million all the way to 4.78 million. PSF from 1,009 all the way to 3,007. Whereas for the resale listings, you can see we got 9 projects and then 26 listings. So out of these 26 listings, the sizes range from 1,087 square feet all the way to 2,600 square feet. And then for price quantum, 2.68 million to 5.5 million. And then PSF asking is at 1,800 range to 3,500 range. So it's going to be quite important to know who are your resale competitors here. So definitely if you look at the number of past transactions versus the listings, right, the unit's not going to move very fast for the Holland Village area. Yeah, I think partially because some of the developments here, in fact, most of the developments here, other than One Holland Village, they are quite boutique lah. So of course, boutique wise, the facility is not going to be that complete. So there could be people that is looking at bigger developments or even at the landed here. And then now for the surrounding developments in the 500 meter radius, you can see we have Liden 2. So Liden 2 also got 72 units. The Merah Saga 116 units. One Holland Village Residences 296 units. Parvis 248 units, the Fort at Holland 85 units, Holland Residences 83 units, the Cornwall 99 units, Holland Court 22 units, Jade Mansion 27 units. So you can see in this area itself, other than One Holland Village is the newer one, the rest, to be honest, is more than 10 years old easily. So that's why in terms of resale competition, for those looking for the newer developments, right, really there's not much competition. And in terms of the size and development size, facilities, also no much competition other than One Holland Village Residences. Okay, so with all the resales nearby, right, I'll be doing like what I did for Springleaf Residence. I'm just showing you an example over here. So you see I compare like Lentor Central, Lentor Mansion with Springleaf. So what I will do here is also I'll look at the resales nearby for Holland Village area and also look at One Holland Village Residences for the different bedroom types. So of course with this, we can kind of find out for the higher floors, what is the price range, lower floors, what is the PSF and price range as well. So we want to ensure if you are looking purely for investment, then we want to enter at a buffer compared to the resale. That will be the most ideal, or the recently TOP projects. To prepare my clients better for Skye at Holland's booking day, I will also be doing a price simulation for what I expect at Skye at Holland. So this one I'll be analyzing upper house pricing strategy. So I think from there, some of the videos, maybe people already talk about how the developers actually price upper house, and then from there we'll be using the PSF jump and all that, right, to simulate what potentially can happen for Skye at Holland for each different stacks and also the bedroom types. Yeah, so from there, I think it'll be more accurate and there'll be no surprises for my buyers. Okay, so right now, right, I'm gonna be talking about why Skye at Holland is one of the more attractive launches for this year. Is because of its land bid price. Okay, so now look at this newspaper article. UOL and Capital Land, they actually secure this Skye at Holland land at 805 million. So this works out to be 1285 PSF PPR. So definitely very, very attractive. So now let me compare, right, this land price versus some of the launches that already launched and some of the upcoming ones. So now if you look closely on the map, let's talk about the launches that already launched. So for Nava Grove, RCR, not near MRT. So this one is at 1233 PSF PPR. Okay, and already transacted from 2002 to 2007 PSF range. Alta, OCR, also not near MRT, 1250 PSF PPR, not near MRT, 2200 PSF, all the way up to $2,800 per square feet. And then next up we have the Ori, 1360 PSF PPR. And for Ori, it is nearer to the MRT, 2395 PSF, all the way to $3,000 per square feet. I mean, of course, for the Ori, there is definitely the school component, whereas Skye at Holland don't really have the school component. But does Toa Payoh actually command a higher PSF as compared to Skye at Holland? Personally, for me, I'm a Westie. I feel like Skye at Holland is definitely a very different product because Holland Village is like prime, very, very prime West. Even though it's still on the west side, right, but it's like more prime than Queenstown already. So definitely the appeal for Holland Village area is very, very strong. And I don't think Holland Village should be even cheaper than Toa Payoh for sure. Okay, so that's why I say we don't know how much the developer will actually price Skye at Holland at, right? And if you talk about the upcoming plots, we have Holland Link. So this is considered RCR plot. It's not near MRT. 1432 PSF PPR. Dunn Road, so this one will be considered CCR, not near MRT. 1410 PSF PPR. Chuan Grove, OCR plot, 1376 PSF PPR. And then we have Bayshore, so this one OCR also, 1388 PSF PPR. So all these land plots, if you compare, right, honestly, the cheaper ones will be for this year only. If you see these are the launches coming up for next year, right, the 1004, 1003 for RCR and OCR range, right, then definitely you won't be able to see this kind of land bid price for the harmonized plots anymore. Yeah, so overall, I think that's why Skye at Holland is one of the more attractive land plots when you look at the upcoming land bids as well. So if you compare for Skye at Holland, right, which is in the heart of Holland Village area versus like the Holland Link, Holland Plain plots, So for Holland Link, right, they already managed to secure 1004 PSF PPR, and this is considered RCR leh. Yeah, and there will be a few more plots coming up over there. I would say in terms of competitiveness, right, in the resale market, definitely this Skye At Holland plot, right, if you just wait maybe 1 to 2 years after TOP, when the Holland Link plots also launch and TOP, right, you'll be in a very good position because you have a full-blown shopping mall right beside you, and it's already one of the more popular shopping malls in Singapore. Yeah, I think definitely you have a very strong selling point as compared to the Holland Link side. Holland Link, if you see, actually it's gonna be another like Lentor, because you see they have another, I think 7 or 8 plots over there. Yeah, so I think that's the main difference between these two. And for Holland Link, they're still selling so much higher in terms of the land, almost like 150 PSF PPR gap. Alright, so that's it for today's video. If you like my content so far, you can leave a like and subscribe. And also if you like this kind of videos, right, you can take a look at my channel because I've done in-depth analysis for some of the upcoming launches and even the post-launch analysis as well. And also for Skye At Holland, the preview starts in September. So if you want to take a look at the preview, you can feel free to contact me at 8484-9302. I can also do an in-depth analysis and comparison for you guys. So looking forward to hear from you guys. Alright,